This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
There it is. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the After Party Live on this Trivia Thursday. Let's see. The microphone's on. The camera's on. Everything's okay today. Fingers crossed. Hopefully I can get myself together. Thought it was a great Mark Thompson show today. Of course, today's Thursday, so we were lucky enough to have Richards Green the Civics Dean and David Katz. We have trivia on the After Party Live on this Trivia Thursday, and then tonight it's live at 5 with Nikki Maduro, cocktails, mocktails, and politics, which I really look forward to all week. So I hope that you will join for that. And that's what we've got today as far as programming. I did see that, and I'm so excited that we passed the 2,300 mark on this show, 2,306 subscribers. So that's pretty good for a little show that we keep trying to push along. Thank you for subscribing to every one of you who has clicked that button, and thank you for clicking the like button today as well. I should note that the PayPal information for this crowdfunded show is in the show description and on the About tab under the After Party Live here on YouTube. So thank you to everyone who contributes that way and to the super chats and super stickers here on this show. Let us jump right into it because we do have a lot of stories today, including one of them out of SF Gate about pot vaping. There's a doctor that is saying no. She's advocated for her patients to use marijuana for various things for decades to treat various conditions. This is Dr. Lori Vollen out of Berkeley, but she says don't use marijuana vape cartridges. She says there's evidence they can expose people who use them to heavy metals, that they've never been evaluated for long-term health effects. And so it's really not a good idea. According to SF Gate, there was a pesticide scandal in the cannabis industry. A lot of vape cartridges sold in California's legal stores tested positive for pesticides. And Dr. Vollen says you're getting an increased exposure to another toxin, that it's one more piece of evidence that people should not be vaping marijuana. She said just smoke it like regular if you're going to, but don't use the vape cartridges. People like them because they fit into your pocket, so they're small, they're convenient, right? The size of a pen. But she said no, it's just not worth it. There were about $100 million worth of vape pens sold last month in California. They outsell pre-rolled joints and edibles, according to Headset, which is a cannabis data company. But there are a lot of concerns with these things. And she says no. It's really, really upsetting. There's also concerns about cannabis oils inside vaping cartridges. So, yeah. I think it's just another reminder that, long-term testing, we do a lot of reports on studies for different, medical issues or scientific issues. And we don't see a lot coming through about vaping. And there's not enough information to really warrant doing this. So Dr. Vollen says, steer clear of the marijuana vape pens. Just do it the old-fashioned way. Let's move to this story. This is our animal segment. Penguin's on the run. He's so cute. He was not happy where he was, apparently. This penguin was on the lam for 2 weeks. Finally found. And when this penguin was found, it had gone 18 miles from whence it had disappeared. This escaped penguin left an animal encounter event on a Japanese island. There was a group that organizes these animal encounters. This 6-year-old female Cape penguin was allowed to swim in a netted-off area on Himaka Island in the Aichi Prefecture, but managed to find a hole in the net and left. Organizers said this penguin, named Pen-chan, was bred in captivity, had never been in the ocean before, so they really feared for Pen-chan's safety. Finally, she was sighted multiple times before being located 18 miles away from where she had escaped. They rushed to the area, and Pen-chan swam right up to them when they called her name. Here, Pen-chan, and there she was. She was examined by a vet, found to be healthy and uninjured, so apparently 2 weeks in the ocean, she knew just what to do. But she's back now with her people. How about this? That's a pig. That's a big one. This was a giant pig that was on the loose in the state of Wisconsin. This large pig was found wandering the streets in Franklin, Wisconsin, just walking around the road. The animal control folks were called. They managed to, with Herculean strength, corral this pig and get it to safety. The pig has been turned over to the Milwaukee Area Domestic Animal Control Commission. They're trying to find the owner of this giant pig. So far, no luck. So we'll see how it goes, but no takers on the giant pig. That's a big animal right there. Wow. There's some new information about ADHD medication. And it looks like the high doses of certain ADHD meds might trigger psychosis. We know that prescriptions for amphetamine stimulants to treat ADHD have jumped significantly in recent years. Possibly because of the pandemic? Well, high doses of stimulants like Adderall can increase the risk of psychosis or mania by more than 5-fold. This according to this new study published today in the American Journal of Psychiatry. Patients had a nearly 63% increased risk of psychosis or mania if they took any prescription amphetamine within the last month. Those on heavy doses of amphetamines were at even greater peril of a psychotic episode, 81% increased risk. The highest risk occurred in patients taking 30 milligrams or more of dextroamphetamine. That's about 40 milligrams of Adderall. The folks at McLean Hospital in Belmont, Massachusetts say the stimulant medications don't have an upper dose limit on their labels. And the study results show it's clear the dose is a factor in psychosis risk, and it should be a chief consideration when prescribing stimulants. They say rare but serious side effects should be monitored by both patients and their doctors whenever these medications are prescribed. So, pretty scary stuff. They looked at the data on 1,400 patients that were admitted to Mass General Brigham Hospital between 2005 and 2019, who were having their very first episode of psychosis or mania. And they compared those patients to more than 2,700 people that were hospitalized for other psychiatric conditions like depression or anxiety. And that's what they found, that people taking amphetamines had a higher risk of psychosis or mania, and the risk was the greatest with the heaviest doses. So they think it has to do maybe with amphetamines prompting the release of dopamine, which is also a hormone in the brain implicated in psychosis. They say it's important that people taking amphetamines for ADHD shouldn't be alarmed, but to make sure that you talk to your doctor about the dosage that you're looking at. So I thought that was worth talking about. They did the Polaris walk, the space walk. That is a great picture. It's a person in a spacesuit popping out of the Polaris with the Earth in the background. Just beautiful. This was kind of a big question mark, right? This hadn't been done before with civilians. But the Polaris crew successfully has completed their first private spacewalk above Earth. Jared Isaacman, SpaceX engineer Sarah Gillis, they spent time outside the Dragon spacecraft this morning. Isaacman and Gillis did more than enjoy the spectacular view of Earth that we can see in the picture here from the spaceship. They also performed tests of the SpaceX new spacesuit to see if this sleeker suit was ready for what space has to offer. They say it looks like a perfect world when you're looking at Earth from this vantage point, even though there's a lot of work to do on Earth. They stepped out of the Dragon capsule one at a time, spent about 15 minutes each, and they wore the new SpaceX EVA suit that are made to be lightweight and more flexible while still giving humans protection from the harsh environment outside Earth. They are coming out of the Polaris. So success. And it was done differently than NASA does spacewalks. So this is kind of a big deal with how this all went down. Fascinating. And a success. So got to give it to SpaceX, right? Are we ready for the lotto of the day? Yeah. Let's talk about luck. Some people have it all. This North Carolina woman has won her second major Cash 5 lottery prize in under a year. She won $346,000 and change from a Cash 5 lottery drawing, which is her second major jackpot after winning $100,000 less than a year ago. So this goes against everything I thought. You know, if you win once, your luck is run dry, right? If we even come close to winning, that's probably as close as you're ever going to get, statistically. Clearly, I'm wrong, because this is not the first time we've heard of someone doubling down on their luck. Her name is Kathy. She told the North Carolina Education Lottery officials she stopped at the Seaco Mini Mart off of US 70 in Newport and bought a $1 ticket for the Cash 5 drawing August 29th. She matched all 5 balls and took home $346,000. And she previously won in November of 2023 $100,000. She didn't say whether she has plans for the winning, but I am telling you, Rev P, who's often in the chat, always talks about, I have to go see if he's here today, always talks about how these kind of stories piss him off. Yeah, there he is. Rev, I just want to win once for now. Come on. Let's go. Mo says, wasn't the big mega one in Texas a couple of days ago? I don't know if someone in Texas won. I was monitoring it. Somebody won $800 million at least. I don't know who it was or if we know yet. Yeah. I just won big. Pamela Kirby throwing down $5. Congrats, she says, to us achieving a new The After Party Live milestone. Yay, Pamela. Thank you for the celebration on that. 2,307 we're up to now. And every day and every single subscriber is valuable to me. And precious. Like a precious lottery ticket. Thank you. Rev's mind is blowing up about this double luck. I know, I'm telling you. Some people, you know what though? I have to give it to her. She stuck to it. She didn't win and walk away. You know? She, what do you call it when you're playing, blackjack and you split your cards and you double your bet? Like that's kind of what happened here. She let it ride, it would seem. Yeah, B.A. Ware says, you rock. You do rock, Pamela Kirby. Thank you for the $5 super sticker and the nice words there. Much appreciated. Let's talk about the heaviest plum. That's a big one. When you look at all the smaller ones in the background as compared to this one, whew, that's a heavy plum. So heavy, as a matter of fact, it's now the new Guinness World Record holder. This plum was grown in South Africa. It's a record-breaking plum weighing 16.3 ounces. The farmers, Dean and Dion, own Opie Ploss Bordery Farm. They said they never really set out to break any records with their plums. They said it wasn't bred to set records. But this record-setting plum came off of a commercial tree with about 150 other plums on it. They say they didn't really do anything special to get it this big either. It's 3.8 ounces heavier than the previous record holder, which was grown in Japan in 2021. They say the area in South Africa where the plum was grown has a lot of microclimates that help out a lot. They say they do soil samples yearly and then put into the soil what's needed. They have a top plum specialist to help with production and quality. They say the plum, the largest of the few in recent years, surpasses their previous record there on the farm. The question, every time we see one of these massive fruits pop through, the question is always asked, does it taste as good as the other ones? Just because it's big doesn't necessarily mean it's juicier, better somehow. That often the bigger ones like this don't taste very good. Similarly, the littler ones don't taste very good. So I don't know. I don't think you want to be the person that bites into the record-setting plum. You gotta preserve that thing for as long as possible. We talk about the dummies. How sad. It's another one of these cases where you're called out because you think maybe you have to rescue a human being, and it turns out, no. It's just a dummy. This happened in the UK. This lifeboat crew was out on a rescue call when they found the dummy from another rescue station. A Royal National Lifeboat Institution crew in England was called out on reports of a person stranded in the water. But when they got there, they realized it was a training dummy that was lost by another crew 2 weeks ago. And really, while it's annoying you're called out for no reason, it's the find you want to make. You don't want to find someone, right, that is floating. You don't want to find someone that's injured or dead. So, all in all, silver linings. It was just a dummy in the water. They said they responded to an early morning call about a person who appeared to be stranded in the water in Bempton on Monday. They got to the scene. They recovered this training dummy from the water that had been lost 2 weeks earlier from the crew at Hartpool. The Hartpool crew thanked the Filey station for finding their dummy named Fred. So Fred's had an unauthorized holiday to Yorkshire, they said. And now Fred is safe and back with its rightful rescue station. Oh my gosh. Here is a case. I saw this story and I thought this is definitely a case for Dr. House. This is rare, but how weird that it happened, and how odd that someone actually even figured out exactly what went down here. This case is about a hair dye ingredient that caused temporarily a woman to lose her vision. There's an ingredient in the hair dye that a French woman used that caused her to develop this retinopathy. She switched to a dye without those ingredients, called aromatic amines, and her sight resolved. Vision came back, everything okay. There's an ophthalmologist at Edouard Herriot Hospital in Lyon, France, that figured this out. They think these cases should be pretty rare, but spreading awareness of the danger may allow prompt consideration to remove exposure to such hair dye so eyes aren't permanently damaged, according to doctors. They published this case report today in the journal JAMA Ophthalmology. They say it's not the first time that hair dye has been linked to retinopathy. There were 3 prior cases in 2022. Middle-aged women, all of them, following exposure to hair dyes containing aromatic amines. In this latest case, it was a 61-year-old lady, no prior history of vision trouble, who went to the doctors with blurry vision in both eyes, just a few days after dyeing her hair with hair dye containing these aromatic amines. The amine in the dye in this case was paraphenyldimine. So doctors looked at her. She was found to have multiple retinal detachments that resemble the damage that can occur in retinopathies tied to certain enzymes found in the eye. Her eyes also displayed an unhealthy thickening of the neurosensory retina. So they did some tests to rule out the possible causes, including infections, even eye cancer. And in the end, they found the retinal damage caused by the ingredient in the hair dye, and they managed to diagnose it based on the association between the symptoms and that hair dye exposure. So she switched her brand of hair dye. Her vision returns to 2020 within a month's time. 4 years later, she reported using aromatic amines free hair dye. She hasn't experienced any of these recurrences. So they think that this type of aromatic amine chemical disrupt a neurochemical pathway essential to the health of the retinal pigment epithelial cells. I don't know how they figure these things out. And the whole reason for reporting the story and to publicize it is they say doctors should really be on the alert for the possibility that when people show up with any retinopathy that doesn't have an easy explanation, check the hair dye. Here's what I wonder. If this has happened 4 times, 5 times that we know of, why wouldn't that be a banned substance in hair dye? I get that it's rare, but why would we even take the chance about it? That's crazy. No thank you on that hair dye. Yeah, paging Dr. House. Seriously. They have let's talk about, this is kind of, I think, exciting in a way. And we've talked about AI before, and there's a lot of things about AI that are a little bit scary, but also AI has some game-changing technology. There's a new study that shows AI technology can detect early signs of more than 1,000 diseases. That the artificial intelligence tool will accelerate the development of more effective treatments and improve ways to stop diseases early on. More than 1,000 diseases, and it can be detected by AI long before there are any symptoms. This according to new research. They use this computer algorithm called Milton to analyze patient test results collected by general practitioners to detect the patterns in the data and predict with high confidence a disease diagnosis many years later. AstraZeneca, the pharmaceutical giant, developed this intelligence tool that it says will accelerate the development of more effective and targeted treatments. They're also making the data freely available to other researchers who could then develop diagnostic tests that will allow early preventative treatment to stop these diseases in their tracks. For many of these diseases, according to the researchers, by the time they manifest clinically and the person goes to the doctor because of an ailment or a symptom, it's way too late to stop this disease right when it starts. The researchers say there may have been a whole cascade of events that happened in the blood before the symptoms popped up. AI, they say, can pick up signatures in an individual highly predictive of developing things like Alzheimer's, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, kidney disease, and many other things. They have data from 500,000 people as part of a UK biobank, so a lot of health information to base this on. Interesting. So they say the AI tool was able to detect subtle patterns in data that would have been invisible to the human eye and link them to the diseases that the patients were diagnosed with up to a decade or more later. This predictive performance rated as exceptional for 121 diseases, highly predictive for another 1,091. The whole study published in the journal Nature Genetics. So interesting. This is our, that you go to the sick bay and they wave a wand over you on Star Trek. This is the future. This is a step toward that future where they're going to be able to figure out what you have like the second or even before you get it. Sorry, I hope my snapping wasn't too loud. And fix you right up. So here we are at the beginning of all of this. There's a statue in England that's getting a little bit of criticism. It's a statue, a new statue of Queen Elizabeth. And we saw another one of these statues that people didn't really love, but now there's a new statue of Queen Elizabeth II that's kind of bringing in some mixed reviews. People on social media are saying this new bronze sculpture looks nothing like Queen Elizabeth. I mean, it is a rather masculine looking face, I guess you could say. And if you look at the wider shot of it, it kind of makes her chest look square and boxy. It's not the most fluid statue. You could say that. It doesn't really have a lot of flow. You know? Here's the close-up again. You think it looks like her? I don't know. It's a bronze statue of the late queen. She stands, the statue, next to Prince Philip and their two corgis. It was created by an artist in North Belfast, Anto Brennan. And last week it was unveiled at Antrim Castle Gardens. They say the sculpture captures Her Majesty in a dignified pose, reflecting her grace, steadfastness, and lifelong dedication to public service. I don't know. It's not as cute as it could be. A lot of comments came in. One of them said, actually, it's an insult to Her Majesty's memory. Looks nothing like her. Someone else called it dreadful and said, take it down. They said, more than an insult than a tribute. It's horrendous, to be perfectly honest. Other insults included ridiculous, blooming awful, not fit for purpose. Someone said it looked more like Mrs. Doubtfire than the late queen. Oh, it's a run by fruiting. People outside of England are criticizing this. An art historian named Richard Morris offered some pretty scathing feedback. They do say it's a shame that people can only find fault. And they don't think about the time and effort that the artist put in. I don't like it, but they say generally they're getting positive responses to the sculpture. They say art can sometimes spark diverse opinions, but that it's important to emphasize the sculpture has been warmly received by most who have seen it in person. They are pleased, they say, with how the sculpture complements its surroundings, standing adjacent to the statue of Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, accompanied by two lovingly crafted corgis. They say the thoughtful arrangement has resonated strongly with visitors who appreciate the personal touch it brings to the memorial within the gardens. Thoughts? I'm going to the chat. Mama says it looks like a geriatric granny. I mean, she was an old granny. I don't know. It's just so stiff and rudimentary. There's nothing special or wow about that statue, right? But can it fool the birds, says SF Tesla. Deidre likes the corgis. The corgis are cute. They kind of look like they're in motion, where even her skirt looks heavy and stiff. There's not a lot of tricks that they did with the bronze here, right? Elise is like, no, that's ugly. Yeah. Rev says someone's skimping on the artist budget. Karen says, I couldn't figure out who the statue portrayed. Doesn't look like the queen at all. It's not even good sculpting in general. I'm kind of feeling like that's true. I don't know. I'm not impressed. John says you would not know it was anyone in particular. I mean, if you could look at it and you see the corgis there, you're in England, you know, there is a likeness, I suppose, but it's just not special. You think for public art, something commissioned, that it should stand bronze, that it should be something that's worthy of being there, that would stand the test of time. But beauty's in the eye. It does look stiff. There's no magic that was done with this bronze. I mean, that's my opinion. But everyone has a different opinion of what art is. And case in point, before we get to trivia, there's this Petaluma, where I live, has a public art fund. It's not a huge amount, but they commission public art projects. And one of the art projects that was approved by the art commission has brought in so much criticism. People can't believe that the city is spending money on what we know to be called bathtubs on stilts instead of fixing potholes. And what they don't understand is that the money has to go to the arts. You can't take from one and give to the pothole fund, right? So you can't do it. So they had to come up with something. But there's so much wrong with this. Look at that. Bathtubs on stilts. There are several of them they're putting up along the Petaluma River. And people are saying this it makes no sense at all, that these things are so ugly. I can just imagine after a few rainy seasons, they'll be filled with sludge in there. It'll be a mosquito breeding ground. Like, why are we doing this? I'm not a fan of it. Others might look at it and go, okay, that's really cool. Overwhelmingly, though, the people that live here are not happy with it. Is it one of those roadside attractions where you cruise by just to see it? Or is it something that's just super silly? I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. B.A. Ware says, lower them and let the homeless take some baths. Well, hopefully we have shelters where people can, have a little privacy. But I get your point. It's like, ew. Yeah. And Walter says it looks dangerous. I thought so too. Bathtubs on stilts. It looks precariously purchased. You know what I mean. I can't even. Awful. Mo says if you artistically fix the pothole, you succeeded in doing two things at once, serving a wider base of the public. I like the way you think. Yikes. Yeah, it does look scary. For Petaluma, it should have been a giant chicken. Full on agree with you. We should have had, how they had the heart contest in San Francisco? We should have had a chicken contest. They had the hearts in San Francisco. They had the Snoopy characters in Santa Rosa, because that's where Charles Schulz is from. In Petaluma, we should have had a chicken contest. There could have been cute chickens all over town. Why not a big egg? See? Why are you not on the art commission, Karen? Lori says drains water so it doesn't build up. I don't know. But do you want to be standing underneath it when it drains? And it doesn't look like it. I don't think it's very cute. Yeah, Jim says Petaluma should have eggs. See? You guys need to be on the art commission. Speaking of beauty being in the eye of the beholder, I have one more story for you before we move on to trivia. And it is this. There is a house for sale in the UK that is Disney themed. It's the home belonging to a Disney superfan in Wales. They have these huge murals on almost every wall. This house features characters from a number of Disney movies, including Aladdin and Peter Pan. Huge murals everywhere. Imagine how much paint this is going to take. The house has gone on sale in the Welsh seaside town of Rhyl in Denbighshire. It was the childhood home of the current owner of the property, who's lived there for 57 years. They say it's the first time, the real estate agent said it's the first time that they've ever seen a property like this. The current homeowner is a real massive Disney fan, said the real estate agent. She's been to Disney more than 20 times, and she's lived in this house for her whole life. There have been loads of interest in this property from curious people. Really, people maybe not wanting to buy the house, but wanting to go in and be a little bit of a looky-loo. She said there have been a few genuine buyers who've inquired about it, who can see beyond the Disney and that it's a nice house in a nice location. They have a mural in the garden, though, with E.T. and characters from Star Wars. They have the main living area, which is Aladdin's cave. The staircase you can see here is Mary Poppins versus Peter Pan with hot pink walls and silhouette detailing. Yeah. Maybe she said, the real estate agent said, not everyone would keep the murals, but she said, I would certainly keep the candy floss clouds on the ceiling in the bedroom because she said they're my favorite. It's just a paint job to get rid of it. But they say it's easier to sell a house when you walk in and everything's neutral. The real estate agents will even advocate taking your pictures down off the walls so people can visualize their own family portraits there. And when you walk into a house like this, it's really kind of hard to see your stuff in there and your life in this home. That might be harder to sell. I don't know. But it's funny to see how people live. Wild. All right, you guys ready for it? Oh, I want to see what you think about this before we move on. Mountain Bike says there was a show on HGTV that had a contest of which was the most extreme house. There were some really unusual ones. Yikes. Maud says kind of sad. I don't know if you're thinking of the Disney house or the bathtubs on stilts. I don't know. Yikes. SF Tesla said they should throw a shower curtain around it. Oh, a little privacy for the bathtubs on stilts. Pamela says she likes the idea of the chicken art. I do too. Not the bathtubs on stilts. Yikes. Before we get to trivia, I did want to read this text, this super chat from Deidre, who throws in $5. Thank you. And says, hey, everybody, we have a listener meetup scheduled October 19th at Testarossa Winery in Los Gatos. Find the MTS fan discussion for more information. I have been remiss in not letting everyone know, if you are not aware, that Wes has created a Mark Thompson Show fan discussion page on Facebook. So if you look up Mark Thompson Show fan discussion on Facebook, you'll find it. You can join the conversation there, which will continue well after the show. So, and there's already a lot of great topics going on there. And a listener meetup October 19th, all the way down in Los Gatos. That's going to be really fun. I'll make sure that Nikki knows about it. She's already down in that area. That could be really fun for her to pop into. And anyone who's in San Jose, you know, when we have the Mark Thompson Show meetups, even via Zoom, just being able to see people and get to talk to them in real life is really cool. So to have something like this, it's awesome. I'm sure that's going to be a really great event. All right. To check my calendar, see if I'm able to make a trip to the South Bay. B.A. Ware says, I wish it was closer to my neck of the woods. Yeah, me too. I know. She says, have fun. Very cool. Regarding the Disney house, Jim says, put a mirror when you walk in so people can see themselves in the front door. It's a realtor trick. Disney theme might be fun to see yourselves there. I don't know. Heather had a work issue, I think, is why she's not around today. Yeah. Beth Farmer says, ooh, that sounds fun. I'll wait for the East Bay meetup. And Kay in Santa Rosa says, would you like to carpool? Because Santa Rosa is pretty close to Petaluma. I don't know. I'll check the calendar. I have your email address, so I'll get back to you on that one. Invite Nikki. It's a distance for me, but it sounds like fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. I love that you guys are meeting up and doing that. That's super cool. I love this community. And it is time for... Here, hold on. I have it. Trivia Thursday. There it is. Woohoo! Telling you, I need a little sounder for that. The first category today involves presidents. Little presidential trivia. First one. Which president kept fit by skinny dipping in the Potomac? Which president kept fit by skinny dipping in the Potomac? Mm-mm. What do you think? 'Twas not Kennedy. It was a lot earlier. Wasn't Teddy? That was a good answer, though. It wasn't Teddy. It wasn't Lincoln. A lot of Teddys. Just don't let it be Trump. Nobody wants to see that. Ain't nobody got time for that. A lot of Teddys. Clinton was not a skinny dipper. I think we would have heard about it. This was way back when. Not Jefferson. I'm going to have to give you this one. Okay. The president that liked to keep fit by skinny dipping in the Potomac was John Quincy Adams. Liked to do a little chunky dunking in the Potomac. Woohoo! Who set fire to the White House in 1814? Who set fire to the White House in 1814? Ford had a pool in the White House? Didn't need to go skinny dipping? Yes, you're correct. B.A. Ware throwing it down first. British soldiers did. B.A. Ware gets it. Donald the Maine Coon gets it. Beth gets it. Next one. What first lady coped with no running water and hung the laundry in the East Room? What first lady coped with no running water and hung the laundry in the East Room? Martha was not the answer. Nope. Not Lincoln, not Madison, not Lincoln's wife. Yes, indeed, B.A. Ware. It was Abigail Adams who had to cope with that. The White House has 132 rooms. And how many bathrooms? Don't look it up. The White House has 132 rooms. And how many bathrooms in the White House? You're correct, Teacher Lori. How many bathrooms? Not 6, not 3, not 1. Maud is close. So close. 11,780. It's going to be my favorite answer forever. Sandy and Walter, both with the 11,780. Donald says, I'm guessing Melania wouldn't have coped with that. No. How many bathrooms in the White House? Ooh, JT, even closer. The correct answer is there are 35 bathrooms in the White House. What location in the White House became notorious as the place where President Warren G. Harding secretly met his mistress? What location in the White House became notorious as the place where President Warren G. Harding secretly met his mistress? Kind of, Nancy. More information. Not the Lincoln bedroom, although that would have been hot. Not the Situation Room. Not that I'm advocating adultery. Yes, John gets it. It's the closet, the clothes closet, right off of the presidential office. That's right. It wasn't the dish room, which really wouldn't have been a wise place to get it on anyway. Too much breakable in there. Donald says 1 bathroom for each day of the month. Yeah. Yeah, it was the closet. Getting it on in the closet. Very convenient. What ghost has been spotted by by one of the White House operations foremen? What ghost spotted in recent history by the White House operations foreman? The ghost of? Kennedy took us to the pool. Maud says it's sneaky. Little sneaky. What ghost has been spotted? Yes. 'Twas not the Headless Horseman, Deidre, but it was indeed Lincoln. B.A. Ware gets it. John gets it. John Slade. Trevor gets it. It was the ghost of Abraham Lincoln. Mm. Which president said, "The White House is the finest prison in the world"? Which president said, "The White House is the finest prison in the world"? Is that your ghost? That's cute. It wasn't Trump, although I don't think he was a fan of it. Mm-mm. It wasn't Clinton. He liked it in there. Not Nixon. I know when you think of prison, you think of Nixon. Not Obama. Not Ike. The answer is Harry S. Truman said that. Harry S. Truman said the White House is the finest prison in the world. Did anybody get it? I didn't see. I don't think anybody got that one. Anyway. Okay, next one. You ready? You ready, Freddie? What president had electricity installed in the White House and then didn't touch the light switches for fear of electrocution? What president had electricity installed in the White House and then didn't touch the light switches for fear of electrocution? It's funny. Not Wilson. Not Wilson. Not yes, as a matter of fact, it was Harrison. It was indeed. It was Benjamin Harrison. Had the electricity installed and then didn't touch the light switches. Well done, B.A. Ware. The next one. When Archie's pony took a ride in the White House elevator, who was Archie's dad, the then president? When Archie's pony took a ride in the White House elevator, who was Archie's dad and the president? Mm. Yes, this one is correct. Going up a little bit, Pamela has it, and it's Teddy Roosevelt, and Deidre has it, and B.A. Ware has it. John has it. That was a good one. JT has it. John and Trevor. You guys all got it. Deidre's like, I'll get it eventually. Kevin Kline plays the owner of a temporary employment agency who winds up impersonating the president in what White House comedy? Kevin Kline plays the owner of a temporary employment agency who winds up impersonating the president in what White House comedy? I really liked this movie. Yeah. The answer is Dave. Trevor first on the trigger there with John and Kay. Deandra, this is not your category. Not Teacher Lori's category either. It's okay. We have another one coming up in just a second. Sandy gets it. Judy gets it. Nice. Yeah, that was a good movie. I loved it. Okay, next one. Which president never lived in the White House? Which president never lived in the White House? We kind of alluded to this earlier. Never lived there. And yet, there are pictures all over the place. Yes, Trevor says it is George Washington. Yes, Deidre gets it as well. John gets it. B.A. Ware gets it. And Walter gets it. And Teacher Lori is on it. And William is on it. Pamela gets it. Yeah. Yeah. Well done. Okay, next one. And last for presidential trivia. We all know that the West Wing is the president's domain, but the East Wing often houses the office of the First Lady. What presidential wife was the first to set up shop there in the East Wing? What First Lady was the first to set up shop in the East Wing? Yes, which one? Not so long ago, Lady Madison. No. And no, not Eleanor Roosevelt. Or Roosevelt. Not Eleanor, but yes. It was Rosalind Carter, who was the first one, good job, B.A. Ware, to set up shop in the East Wing. So pretty cool. Okay, a few questions regarding the starry, starry, starry sky. And the first one is, and good job on that one, what constellation of stars is named for a winged horse? What constellation of stars is named for a winged horse? They get harder. Yes. The answer is Pegasus. John gets it. John Watson gets it. John Slade gets it. Trevor, Walter, Sandy, B.A. Ware. Yeah, Pegasus is correct. Okay, next one. What's the brightest star in the night sky? The brightest star in the night sky. Yes, we switched topics. We came to the end of presidential trivia, and we're now moving into stars, starry skies. This is how I would have answered it, the North Star. The answer is Sirius or Dog Star. So, John, I'll give it to you. Walter, I'll give it to you. Yeah. Sirius or the Dog Star is the answer we're looking for. Okay. Who painted The Starry Night? Who painted Starry Night? You can't be serious. Oh no, Teacher Lori's not feeling very well today. I'm glad you're sitting down. Whew, take it easy, sister. John says Van Gogh. It is true. That is Van Gogh. Van Gogh is the right answer. Well done. The next one. What planet is the evening star when it's in the west and the morning star when it's in the east? What planet is the evening star when it's in the west and the morning star when it's in the east? Yeah. John says that's Venus. You would be right. That is Venus. Chris says it's Venus. Venus says Colors of the Wind. Sandy's got it. It's all Venus, Karen Cooper and Walter and Maud. Good job. Next one. This is about how fast you can type because everyone's going to get this one, I think. What candy bar is named after the galaxy that holds our solar system? Yeah. What candy bar? Yeah. Milky Way. You guys all got it. John Watson says Milky Way. It's funny, they all come at once. Trevor says Milky Way. Jim says Milky Way. It must be the luck of the draw as to which one pops through first. Milky Way is right. Within the constellation Orion, you can see a red giant that's one of the largest stars known. What's its name? What's its name? I'll say it one more time. Within the constellation Orion, you can see a red giant that's one of the largest stars known. What's its name? See if I can go down there. You guys got it. I don't know if I'm going to say it right, but you guys know what it is. Yes. Is it Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice? Betelgeuse? Beetlejuice? Chris from Menlo Park has it. Maud has it. Kind of. B.A.? I'll take it. Walter has it. William has it. B.A. Ware has it. Don't say it 3 times, John Watson. Don't do it. Rev is on it. Karen's on it. Beetlejuice. Yeah. Karen says, oh, Orion is my favorite constellation. That's cool. In what science fiction film saga is the Death Star capable of destroying a planet with a single shot? You guys know this one. This is an easy one. Put a French spin on it. Betelgeuse? Betelgeuse? I can't. I'm sorry. That was a really bad try. Jane, Star Wars is the right answer. Yes. Sandy, Chris, Deidre, Walter, Colors of the Wind. You guys got it. It's Star Wars. Nice. Okay, next one. I know, that was a pretty easy one. They're putting some complicated ones. I wouldn't have gotten Beetlejuice. You guys got that one. Who said, "We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars"? Who said this? We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. See if you guys got it. Yes. Oscar Wilde is the right answer. V.A. Ware throwing it down. Yeah. This was a good guess. Sagan was a good guess, I have to say. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Also a good guess, Deidre. I'm so proud. Iggy Pop. No, it was Oscar Wilde is the right answer. Love it. Okay, the next one. Falling stars or shooting stars are actually meteoroids burning up where? Falling stars or shooting stars are actually meteoroids burning up where? I think I would have gotten this one. Be Aware says, my favorite Wilde quote, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. That's pretty good. Chris throwing it down first. Atmosphere. Yep, burning up in the atmosphere. B.A. Ware has it. William has it. Deidre has it. Trevor has it. Donald has it. David's got it. Nice. All right, you guys, next one. The Earth's sun is a middle-aged star and has about how many years left until it reaches old age and dies? The Earth's sun is a middle-aged star and has about how many years left until it reaches old age and dies? That's sad. I don't know if I like that question. It's really not positive enough for me. Long enough that we won't be here. Let's see your answers. Again, with the 11,780. I really appreciate that, Sandy. Truthfully, I do. B.A. Ware says 30 to 50 million years. That's a little on the low end, my friend. Rev P says 5 billion years, and Rev would be correct. Jim said 3. You were close. You were in the billions, I think you were close. 9 billion? Meh. Billion. 5 billion is the answer. Walter has it. Donald has it. Rev has it. Linda was close enough. A long way off. I'll accept that answer. Yeah, it never gets old. Never. It's a constant reminder of the ridiculousness. What color are the most frequent and inconspicuous stars in the universe? What color are the most frequent and inconspicuous stars in the universe? I probably wouldn't have gotten this, but you guys did, because you guys are so smart. John Watson says they are red, and he is right. Chris says they are red. We may not. We know. We can't see it. That's true. Karen says. Red, says Walter. Yes. Who else has got red? Rev says red. David says mauve. Yeah, no. B.A. Ware is very patriotic about it with red, white, and blue. They are indeed red. If you got red, give yourself some credit there. In the animated Disney movie Pinocchio, what character sings "When You Wish Upon a Star"? I won't sing it, don't worry. When You Wish Upon a Star, but I feel like I should. What character sings this song in Pinocchio? When You Wish Upon a Star. Yes. Who gets it first? Let me go. I'm scrolling back to see who was the quickest on the uptake there. Trevor, Jiminy Niminy Cricket. Yes. David gets the cricket. Absolutely. Jiminy Cricket, says Sandy. And John has it. Jiminy Cricket. Jiminy Cricket. SF Tesla says, are those the red dots? I think you're referring to the red stars. I don't know the answer. But I'm going to let you do the research on that. How about that? Jiminy Cricket is the correct answer. Okay. The next one. The first moon landing occurred in what year? Was it 1959, 69, or 79? 59, 69, or 79? What do you think? This will be our last question. And let's see who gets it first. It was indeed. You guys are so good. John says, yeah, it was 69. Deidre said, I know you meant 69. Yes. Chris, 69. Sandy, 69. William, you guys, look at you go. 1969 was the year. And now look at us with a commercial Polaris spacewalk this morning. How crazy is that? Well done, everyone, for answering. Teacher Lori, I hope you feel better. I really do. You could use there's too much going on. You could use a break from all this stuff. So I hope you feel better. I'm sorry you're going through it. Okay, thus ends Trivia Thursday, After Party Live style. I thank you for your participation and for being here. I thank you to Pamela Kirby, who slaps down a $5 super sticker and celebrates with me the fact that we now have 2,307 subscribers to the After Party Live. Woo! And thank you to Deidre for the $5 super sticker and the advertising of the scheduled meetup at Testarossa Winery in Los Gatos on October 19th, which will be a really, really fun event. So well done. I will see you all at 5 o'clock. Thank you for the reminder, Teacher Lori, for the Nikki Maduro show, cocktails, mocktails, politics, and boy, is there a lot to talk about. And I can't wait to hear what Nikki has to say about the debate. So that'll be really fun to talk to her tonight. Again, 5 p.m. I'll meet you right back here on the old YouTube. I really do hope that you can join because it's always a great conversation, always a lot of fun. Thank you for being here on the After Party Live. So tonight at 5, then tomorrow I'll see you on the Mark Thompson Show at 11 a.m. for Friday Fabulous Florida, Michael Schur, Michael Snyder, and then Tim Sika here on the After Party Live. So that is all tomorrow. But again, next stop here on YouTube, 5 p.m. for the Nikki Maduro Show. All right, everyone. Make it a really good day. Feel better, Teacher Lori, and anyone under the weather. And I will talk to you later on tonight. It feels nice not to have to wait until tomorrow to see you again. Bye, everybody.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.